Okay, y'all, so it's official. Cowboy Carter just became the highest grossing country tour of all time, snatching that title for Morgan Wallen with a jaw-dropping 387.9 million made so far. And the gag is, the tour ain't even over yet. Now let's really get into it. Beyoncé stepped into a genre people tried to gatekeep and completely flipped the whole thing on its head. Y'all remember the CMA mess with the Dixie Chicks and Beyoncé performing on stage? After Beyoncé tried to get on stage at the CMAs and perform her song Daddy's Lessons with the Dixie Chicks, they could not stand her. I remember watching that live. And that was the moment Beyoncé said, y'all can't stand me. I'm about to give y'all something to really not stand about me. And from that day forward, she knew that she was going to release a country album. So your girl spun the blocks years later with a vengeance. In this Cowboy Carter tour, this isn't just about her two-stepping and singing about tractors. She brought the culture, black cowgirl vibes, southern storytelling, vocals that'll sit on your chest and not let up. And the visuals, baby, you just had to be there. It was art. I mean, she's blending genres, building bridges, and doing it on her own terms. Very black, very loud, and very proud. Now, what's even crazier is she didn't have to adjust to country music. They adjusted to her. She didn't just line dance, she moonwalked on the country charts. So now she's sitting on top of the biggest selling country tour ever. And this ain't just about a check. This is legacy. This is power. This is Beyoncé reminding everybody again that there's literally nothing she can't do. Pop, R&B, hip hop, country, and we all know that it's being alleged that rock is next. And what I love about Beyonce's cowboy movement is she did it for the culture. Now we know country music was originally black. People can try to argue it all day long. Country belonged to us. So she stepped back in to remind everybody in that genre that this is our ish and don't you ever forget. And one thing we have to be real about is whether you like her album or not, whether you listen to country or not, Beyoncé came in and she knocked down doors. She paid homage to the pioneers of country music like Linda Martell, who was one of the first black women to ever break into country music, who had been long forgotten. Now, she didn't just keep it black, she paid homage to Willie Nelson, who we love, and our girl Dolly Parton. I mean, how could you not love Dolly? And she didn't stop there. She put the spotlight on the new black country artists who were already out. Now, Shaboozie's career took off after he was featured on one of Beyonce's songs on her album. It took his single, A Bar Song, to #1 on the Billboard charts, y'all, and it stayed #1 for 19 weeks. And let's not forget Beyonce's song Blackbird that featured 4 black country artists who have been being overlooked: Tanner Adele, Brittany Spencer, Tiara Kennedy, and Raina Roberts. Now, this helped their careers tremendously, and they have said over and over again how grateful they were to be featured on Beyonce's song Blackbird. And let's not forget that Grammy win for her Cowboy Carter album. Now, she was the first black artist to ever win Best Country Album. And y'all know that shook the table, baby. They did not like that. So the Recording Academy scrapped that whole idea of just Best Country Album, and they split it into 2 categories. So now for Best Country Album, you'll have Best Contemporary Country Album, and then you'll have Best Traditional Country Album. And I really feel like the Grammys did this because they got so much backlash from people in that genre, or people who were not happy about a black person winning Best Country Album, that they had to go ahead and switch it up. But you have to agree, whether you like her or not, your girl came in and she did more than shake the table. She changed the game. But I want to know, what do you feel about Beyonce getting that #1 spot for the highest grossing country music tour of all time? When I say she came in and stepped on toes, she came in and stepped on toes. But y'all let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. Moving on to the next story. Okay, y'all, so boom, y'all already know that Nicki Minaj and SZA have been having it out on Twitter. And fans have been choosing sides left and right. It's been messy. And of course, Academics couldn't help himself. He jumped right in it, adding fuel to the fire like he always does. So now it's a clip going around of Academics who recently went live and talked about how Drake told him to chill out because he was in the recording studio with SZA and she could not stop crying because of what Academics was saying to her. Now, being that he just went live about this situation, people took this as SZA breaking down behind what's going on between her and Nicki Minaj.
It's like a 911. I got on the phone with Drake at 6 a.m. Drake said, yo, I could never tell you what to do. I respect you. You know, I fuck with you. Flip page and be like, we've been through, like, yo, you my guy. But I'm going to be honest with you. I've been trying to do this album. I'm recording songs, and I've been locking in with SZA. This is what she's doing for all the dogs. Yo, I'm locking in with her. Yo, she's in the studio crying. She's crying. She can't do music right now. And the reason is because of what you have said about her. Drake's my favorite artist. This ain't no money thing. This is why that's a
But in all actuality, he was referring to 2023 when SZA was featured on two of Drake's songs, Slime You Out and Rich Baby Daddy. So this doesn't have anything to do with her and Nicki. SZA is not breaking down and in tears behind her beef with Nicki Minaj, as some people are assuming, because this clip is kind of misleading and it's kind of confusing. Now, while Nicki kept ranting on about SZA was pretty quiet. Now, her manager, ex-manager and the president of her record label, TDE Punch, took to the Neighborhood Talk and basically said that Nicki wanted a feature from SZA, and after that he doesn't really understand why Nicki would have a problem with him or SZA. Now, I will say, as Nicki was ranting on Station Head, she was telling her fans that she doesn't even know a SZA song.
I don't know one of your motherfucking songs. Not one, bitch. Y'all, I'm not trying to be funny. Like, I'm not... Y'all, do y'all...
Well, it finally came out that not only does Nicki know SZA in her songs, she wanted her featured on one of her songs back in 2020, and SZA took to Twitter yesterday to put it all out there. So SZA said, Nicki, you absolutely know my music and what I contribute, because you've asked for features twice to no response. In addition to rapping my lyrics on Feeling Myself, cooking up the bass, looking like a kilo. LOL, you're having a moment. I'm not sure why, but be blessed. Now, these are the texts. I don't think they were directly to SZA, maybe SZA's manager, TDE Punch, but Nicki said, hey, it's Nicki. They said, Minaj. She said, yes, how are you? They said, I'm good, money, what's poppin'? And congrats are in order, because Nicki had just announced her pregnancy. She said, thank you. Is SZA recording right now? Got this hook I think she will be dope on. They said, yeah, she's heavy into her album, send it. She said, okay, I'll send the hook first. If she F's with it, I'll send the files to an email. She said, give me a sec. They say, bet. And that was that on that, in which we know the collab or whatever never happened, but it caught Nicki in a lie. Now, y'all know the Barbs are going to defend Nicki till the death, and they're not buying it. They feel like it might not be a real text thread, so they have their concerns. But me personally, I don't believe it's fake. I believe it is what it is. She did want SZA featured on a song, and she just got caught up in a lie. Sometimes when people are trying to prove a point, they'll just say whatever, even if it's not true, just to let that person know you are beneath me. And I believe that's what Nicki was trying to do. But if it's not true, then it's simply not true. But I want to know, what do you guys think about all of this craziness? What do you think about SZA and Nicki getting into it? I'm not going to lie, I did not see this on my 2025 list. I never thought I would see these two go at it, because ultimately SZA is not very problematic at all. I mean, she doesn't come off as a combative woman who will go back and forth with anyone, in which it kind of showed with her getting into it with Nicki. She really didn't go back and forth. Nicki kind of had her by the reins and she just rolled it out. But y'all let me know, what do y'all think about this entire situation? What do y'all think about people confusing what academics had to say about SZA's situation and her crying in the studio is something that just happened versus it being 2 years ago? But that's all I have for you, and I'll talk to you later.
Won't somebody please take away Nicki Minaj's phone? It's time. Hand it over. Give us the phone. It looks like Nicki has just added another person to the long list of people she has beef with, and that's none other than SZA. Just really sad because Nicki's legacy is unlike anything else, right? Like, there will never be another Nicki Minaj. But she has torpedoed that legacy, especially over the last few years, so much. She has done herself no favors. And I think somebody in her team really needs to tell her, like, babes, it's time to log off.
This whole Nicki Minaj SZA thing going on, I feel like the real question should not be, is Nicki on rugs? Or is Nicki okay? Or what's going on with Nicki? The question is, what really has happened behind the scenes? Because every single time she comes out, Nicki comes out and she's going off on somebody, ranting and raving, venting and hooting and hollering, there's always truth behind it. There's literally always truth behind what this lady is talking about. She's not crazy. She just has an eccentric way of expressing herself, but she's not crazy. So I would like to know, like, what truly is going on and what has been going on. Because normally when she speaks out, it's because she just can't take it no more. She can't take the lying. She can't take the fakeness. So I am pretty sure there's something that has been brewing with her and SZA for a while, and she just can't take it no more. And I would like to know what that is. And SZA's not gonna tell us. But yeah, I want to know, like, what really has happened? What is really going on? Because she's talking about something for real. She's mad at SZA for a reason. It's not for no reason, but I want to know.
Y'all, I don't know. I feel like Nicki's starting to go a little too far. She's sitting here body shaming SZA, calling her fat. And I'm just confused because fat where? SZA body always been T, no shade. Like, okay, Nicki, I get if you have beef with her, okay, but it's really not even giving beef. It's giving one-sided at this point. She really talking to herself. But why do we have to bring body shaming into this? Because at the end of the day, Nicki sat on that table and got her ass done. Everybody don't gotta do that. It's okay to have natural bodies. It's okay to have BBLs. But Nicki just straight up got plastic surgery. She didn't even get no fucking BBL because she didn't have nothing to get a BBL with. She was skinny as fuck. So just because you sat on that table don't mean everybody else gotta do that. But I just find that shit weird because we all women. We supposed to be bringing each other up, bringing each other bodies up. Why the fuck is you fat shaming SZA, calling her fat? She not even fat, so I'm just confused. But SZA was kind of eating Nicki up in them tweets, no shade. No shade. She said both my parents are alive and healthy. Ooh! Oh, baby. But I just feel like Nicki becoming too problematic. Like, I can't keep fucking defending her. She's the problem. Like, girl, why is you picking with everybody? Like, it's starting to get bullied.
As an OG Nicki fan, not a Barb, because there's a difference between OG Nicki fans and Barbs. We both love her, but we're obviously different. I'm trying to figure out for the life of me, why is SZA and Nicki Minaj going back and forth on social media? Where is the girl that does the blind items? Because, baby, now is your time to shine. Give us some inside scoop, because that's so random. I would have never thought Nicki and SZA going back and forth. And let me tell you, I love Nicki down. When she right, I defend her when she right. When she wrong, I look at her like, come on, girl. Like, Nicki, please. But can somebody help me understand what the hell this beef is about? Mind you, I'm not in the industry. You probably watching this, definitely not in the industry. So there's things that we're not privy to know. But this whole beef, it comes off looking very much like bullying and nitpicking. Because I'm just thinking, like, what does SZA really do? Like, all she does is just twirl around, make music, be like artsy and witchy. Like, I just don't see her like being a threat. Like, what? I'm really curious, what the hell did SZA do?